emasculated a man? I can't tell if I'm going to hate this or love this. I don't know. This one's kind of a toss-up. Happy apple picking day! Really quick reminders for any of our new friends. And it's been a little crazy few weeks, so we need a refresh. For those of you that want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And as a reminder, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is that we've all lived different lives and have different experiences. And those experiences are going to shape your internal monologue, your boundaries, the details that you think are or are not very important. And that's gonna look different for everybody, and that's fine. So as we discussed down in the comments, we don't shame someone for having different boundaries than us, and we also don't shame people for just not experiencing things that we experienced, because that's not fair. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for letting my daughter stay with me and my wife after she found out her mom lied to her? My ex and I have a 12-year-old daughter, Olivia, with autism level 2. My ex has primary custody, and I have Olivia on Wednesdays and every other weekend. A few months ago, my ex told me that she was feeling a little burnt out, and she wanted us to keep Olivia from Wednesday to Sunday so that she could go on a trip with some friends. Olivia is very attached to her mom, so my ex told Olivia that this was a work trip and she had to go. Last week, one of my ex's friends was at the house with my ex and Olivia, and the vacation somehow came up, and Olivia figured out that the vacation was the work trip that my mom told her about and freaked out because her mom lied to her, and her mom shouldn't be lying. She hid in her room for the rest of the day and then called me and asked me to come get her, and she's been with us ever since. Olivia's so torn up about this. I mean, she cries all the time because she wants her mom, but she doesn't know what else her mom might have lied to her about and doesn't trust her anymore. Apparently, Olivia's aide called my ex because she's been having a very hard time in school now too, so my ex is demanding that I send Olivia home so they can get back to their routines and start working with her therapist to help her get over this, but I told her no. Olivia will go back when she's ready. Well, now she's threatening to call the police and take me back to court over custodial interference, even though we've always had a very friendly co-parenting relationship. My wife thinks that we should send her back to avoid the drama, but I think it should be Olivia's choice. Am I the bad apple for refusing to send her back after she found out her mom lied to her? In what world do you see your relationship with your ex as a friendly co-parenting relationship? This is the main question that I have for you, because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know any of you people, and I don't have kids. And my immediate thought would be to explain to Olivia, like if I was her parent, that being a mom is a job, and being able to relax, recharge, to be the best mom that you can be is a part of that job of being a mom. So like, yeah, it is a work trip, and like explaining it from that angle and help to try and recoup that relationship between Olivia and her mom and explain like she might not have told the full truth, but this is a part of the work and the job that she has as a mother, and to be there as your primary guardian. And it's important for her to be in the best mental shape and emotional shape and physical shape, and sometimes people can get very overwhelmed with the responsibilities of life and parenting and job and et cetera, and sometimes they need a little bit of a break. So it is a part of your job as a parent to make sure that you are in that mental place to be able to do that and to be the best mom that she can be. That's what someone with a good co-parenting relationship would do or say. But you are amping this up to be like, oh, she lied to her by secretly having a partner after she said that she didn't, or something along those lines. I don't know. Like this to me isn't a big deal. And like you are making it a big deal, and you are probably like exacerbating the situation and Olivia's anxiety and distrust. Like that's the vibes that I'm getting. Any 12-year-old who is emotionally charged is going to have a fit and a tantrum and not be able to understand until they're sat down and explained the situation, much less an autistic child. So like, well, she'll go back when she's good and ready. She doesn't understand the situation because you're not helping her understand the situation. The one parent that would be able to sit and talk to her about the situation, who has legal guardianship and legal custody and a legal right to have her, you're not letting her go to, which is a problem. And your wife is completely correct in that, like, to avoid the legal drama, because your wife can 100% take you to court because you are interfering with the custody and not abiding by the custody. This is a no-brainer to me. I don't feel like mom needing a couple days to recharge. I personally believe that it should have been explained to Olivia beforehand. Like, yeah, it's a work trip for my job as a mom. Like, I have to go. And sometimes people get really overwhelmed, and sometimes people need a couple days to recharge, because I think that's an important lesson for even like young kids to understand for when they feel overwhelmed or burnt out, if they're needing a break from something, or, you know, if they're like, you don't want children to grow up in a world where they feel like they just have to be workhorses forever and never get a moment to themselves. I think that teaching them like healthy mental health and take self-care and things like that is so important. And I think that explaining that to her before mom went on the trip would have been the best idea. And I'm probably gonna go crabapple for mom for like coming up with the story and then not like making sure you weren't talking about it right in front of her. Like, that feels irresponsible. But like for this dad, 100% bad apple. Like, I genuinely don't feel like this is that big of a deal. Maybe it's because like I genuinely see it as, yeah, it was a work trip for your job being a mom. Like, that was immediately what came into my head. And that's okay if not everyone sees it that way. However, I feel like this dad is just making everything so much worse and is illegally interfering with the custody stuff. No, like, bad apple. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for stressing my kids out about money? My 48 female friend, 45 female, have kids around the same age and both have 2 teenagers. Last time I spoke with her, it was before a party that we were both going to, and she said that her daughter and her were probably going to be late because her daughter was taking a long time in the shower. I told her that my kids also used to take very long showers until we started showing him the water bill. I mean, at least one of them started taking shorter showers so it wouldn't be so expensive all the time. Personally, I don't see showing them as something bad because sometimes they do need to see how much it's costing us as parents and they need to understand the value of $1. But my friend responded that I was making them anxious, and I thought that was a bit of a leap, as I talk a lot about how much clothes, foods, and other things cost very openly. We just want our kids to be financially responsible. We started debating it for a little bit until we just dropped it, but it's been on my mind a lot lately, and now I'm nervous that I might be the bad apple. No, you're not. Especially as teenagers, like, I think that's so important. Understanding the value of $1. Especially kids who grow up in privileged households, like you're saying that you and your husband make a lot of money. It can be very easy for kids to not understand like how to be financially responsible and like what the value of $1 really is and take it for granted. And I think that explaining it to them and like teaching them that early on is so important and so valuable, especially like you say they're teenagers. If they're old enough, especially if they're like old enough to work and have a job, understanding what things cost and understanding that like, yeah, that 45-minute shower every day is going to 100% hike up the water bill. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. And I honestly think that hiding the value of $1, like going out of your way, is really like a disservice to teenagers, to be completely honest. Like I might even go like a soft bad apple for the friend. Not because I think she's a bad person, but I think that's a huge disservice to your children. Like the number of people who grow up, like move out of their childhood homes, like start their lives and like don't understand how to budget, don't understand how to be financially responsible. Like it's a problem and it's sad, and it honestly starts with parents. If simply showing your kids what things cost gives them a lot of anxiety. Like I think there's a difference between making kids aware and helping them understand financial responsibility and like creating anxiety around money and creating issues of like major frugality. Is that even a word? I don't know. If it isn't, I just made it up. It's fine. But I think that it's important to teach kids not just about, hey, all this is expensive and this costs and this costs and this costs, but also showing ways to save and how to be responsible and how to make money, and teaching them the importance of like a job. Like, hey, just because things are expensive doesn't mean you can't make money to pay these things and do fun things. Like I think having a balance is a good way to healthily teach about financial responsibility and not just scare them. I think it's a good thing to teach kids like, hey, you have a job and you make this amount of money, and yeah, this costs this and this and this, but see how much you still have left over? Like, this is great. This is a good thing. And that can also like not only teach about responsibility and work ethic, but it can also help them quell some of that financial anxiety, in my opinion. And again, I'm not a kid. I'm not a parent. I'm not a kid. I'm not a kid. I'm not a parent. But I did teach kids about these things, so I'm going good Apple for sure. Like, I think teaching kids about finances is a very important part of life. So, yeah. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for expecting my partner to give up their free time and drive me to work? I, 24 female, live with my partner, 24 non-binary, and I moved in with them just over 2 years ago, so we've been together for 3.5 years. Before then, I lived in university dorms since I was 18. I've had a difficult time getting my initial degree. I've been training to be a teacher, and I faced a lot of delays with medical issues and travel issues, and I ended up not being able to get my full teaching qualification. It was devastating, but I settled for being a teaching assistant and hope to do training at the school I'm placed at to become a full teacher. The last few months before this job, I ran out of money, and my partner had to spend more than 2,000 pounds keeping us afloat, and they don't expect me to pay them back or anything, but I felt horrible. The school that I've been placed at for an assistant teaching job is 10 miles away, and on public transportation, that's an extra 2 hours each morning and 3 hours on the way back because of rush hour and things like that. I would get back home with only 2 hours before I need to sleep and shower and eat and try to get some rest. After talking to my parents about how my job is going, my dad is outraged that my partner won't take me to work since they have a car and are not at work when I start and end work. My partner works nights at an Amazon warehouse and is a very physical job and is exhausted all the time. They work 4 days a week for about 10.5 hours a day, and with travel, it kind of becomes 12 hours a day. When they get home, all they want to do is rest. My dad thinks that my partner should wait the 2 hours until I'm ready in the morning and then take me to work when they should be sleeping. This would mean they have to sacrifice the very small amount of time that they actually get to rest at home. My dad also thinks that they should take me home at the end of every day, meaning they would only get 5 hours of sleep, which is completely unrealistic for anyone to be able to manage. My dad has recently said that they should at least bring me in the morning, even if they don't drive me home. My dad talks about how much he would willingly sacrifice for my mom and how partners should sacrifice and be there for each other. And I've tried to reframe this to him by saying, well, would you make mom sacrifice her rest after a long shift so that she could take you to work? And he just dodges the question. Now my dad is avoiding seeing me because he doesn't want to run into my partner because he knows he'll have to say something. I've spoken to my partner about this and they feel bad about not bringing me to work, but they know it's just not sustainable for them. Recently, like a week ago, my partner switched to 8-hour shifts over 5 days, but I still think it's unfair to ask them to drive me, and I won't tell my dad about the switch because then he'll be even more angry. My partner sometimes drive me if they don't have work the next day and they aren't exhausted, but this has been an ongoing argument and it's made me doubt who's actually the bad apple here. So, what do you guys think? Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but it is you. Your parents are gonna be overprotective because you're their little girl and they're always gonna want you to have everything and they want you to have it easy and they want you to be happy and like all the things, right? But here's the thing. Your dad's right in that partners sacrifice things for each other, and your partner has already done that and is still doing that. Your partner has spent thousands of dollars they didn't plan on spending because you ran out of money and you couldn't contribute to your household, and they sacrificed. They took one for the team and they pulled the loose weight, okay? They picked up the mantle and they did what they needed to do. And when they don't have work and they can take you, they do. They're still sacrificing their time for you. My question is, where's your sacrifice for them? Because I'm seeing the, well, if I were to take public transportation, it's inconvenient for me because I would have to get up 2 hours earlier, and then I would have to be on public transportation for 3 hours after school. Okay, but your partner didn't want to have to pay the extra thousands of dollars, and your partner on his few days off is still taking you when he could be sleeping or resting or doing anything else. Like they are doing that. Like, you picked a job that is far away. And I understand that it might be the only thing in the field that you want, but where's your sacrifice, right? So if that's the job that you want to work towards your goals, your sacrifice should be taking one for the team and dealing with the long commutes until you can find something closer, or, drive yourself, save up for a car. Like, you got options. I read the comments, okay? I just looked at the comments, and you're like, well, I could bike, but 10 miles is a lot for me. I understand your dad, like, wanting you to have it easy because he's your dad and he wants that for you. But I feel like you're kind of getting coddled in the fact that they're putting it all on your partner, who has already and is currently stepping up for you already. Are you working towards getting your license? Are you working towards saving up for a car? Are you finding other ways that you can get to work? Like, are you just taking an Uber? You know what I mean? And I've seen some of the comments where you're like, well, this post is just to show my dad it's unrealistic. But I feel like there's a lot that you don't understand is kind of unrealistic. If you're going to decide that you are going to work farther away, somewhere that is difficult for everyone to get to because you want to work towards this job, and that's fine. Like, that's your dream, you do that. But it's not everybody else's job to foot the bill, whether it be the bill of money or time or energy or health for sleep, you know what I mean? It's not everyone else's job to make that as easy as possible for you. Your partner is already sacrificing for you to be able to do the things that you need to do. What are you doing to also get your dream situated? Are you getting a bike so that you can get to work? Are you taking an Uber? Are you sacrificing your time like everyone's expecting your partner to sacrifice for public transportation? Are you sacrificing a little bit of like, okay, I'll work towards my dream of teaching in a few years after I've saved up for a car or to be able to move closer to where I'm going? Like, these are the questions that I have for you. I see you understand that you're like trying to not put it all on your partner and you want your dad to understand it's not all on your partner. But my frustration is that you don't understand that some of this needs to be on you and it's not just everybody else. I don't see you explaining to your dad how your partner is sacrificing for you, has sacrificed financially, is sacrificing their time, is doing what they can when it's safe. Even your partner driving to work, dealing with the physical manual labor in the warehouse. Like, your partner needs sleep, 100%. It is not sustainable for them to not get sleep for their overnight shift during the day because you don't want to take public transportation, or you don't want to bike the 10 hours, or not 10 hours, 10 miles. You know what I mean? And I'm so sorry if this is hurting your feelings, but I feel like you need a little bit of tough love because no one in your circle is giving it to you right now. So maybe I will go crabapple in that, like, I can see you understanding that it's not your partner's job to just do it all and like put themselves at risk. But I don't see you picking up the mantle yourself and helping yourself, or even standing up for your partner to your dad, because I can see you saying, no, Dad, it's not on my partner, but I don't see you saying, here's how my partner is sacrificing for me, and here's how they have stepped up for me. So I'll go crabapple, but I'm really close to a soft bad apple, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for emasculating my girlfriend's brother? My 34 male girlfriend Laura, 30 female, and I got into a huge fight because of something I said to her younger brother Randall, 22 male. For context, Randall lives with their other sister Anna, 29 female. Anna had a big grocery shopping haul today and her van recently kicked the bucket, so Laura and I offered to take her. We drove her to the store, we helped her with shopping, loaded everything into the car. We just wanted to help out. On the drive back, Randall texted Anna asking if she could pick up some takeout for him. Anna agreed, so we made the extra stop to go and get their food. The plan was that when we got to their apartment building, Randall would come down to the lobby, help us bring all the groceries in his takeout up, and then we were gonna go park the car. This was agreed upon when we went to get the takeout because the parking is a pain and it's a lot to carry up. Well, we pulled up, we texted Randall, and nothing. We called Randall, and nothing. We call again, still nothing. So we parked the car properly, which meant that Anna, Laura, and I had to make multiple trips from the parking lot to the lobby and then up to the apartments, lugging all the groceries and the takeout. Now I'm the first one to get the door with my hands full with a box and 2 bags, and I'm able to knock on the door, and Randall just unlocks the deadbolt. Doesn't even open the door, and this really pissed me off. I then opened the door for all of us and set the box and the bags down, and then I asked him what happened. Where were you? And he just shrugged and said, oh, my phone was on silent. Sorry, didn't hear it. This is the second time he's pulled the exact same crap. Last time, I gave him a sarcastic response about it. How convenient, you couldn't hear the phone that's always glued to your hand, while he gave the same lame excuse. But this time, I was fed up. Okay, I was tired from carrying everything, and I was annoyed for Laura and Anna, who just accept this from him all the time, and I was angry for me too. And I looked up at him and I said, seriously, Randall? What kind of man just sits on his butt while his sister and everyone else carries his responsibilities for him? Randall didn't say anything, and he just got up and moped and left the room. Laura immediately shot me a death glare, and after we left the apartment and were back in the car, then she laid into me. She said I was out of line, and that it wasn't my place to talk to her brother like that, and that my comment was toxic and emasculating. We argued the whole way home, and I told her that her family coddled him too much, and that he's never gonna learn if no one holds him accountable. We got home, and we both cooled off a little bit. I explained my side more calmly, and I said that what he did was deeply disrespectful to her, to Anna, who houses him, and to me. He knew we would end up doing the work if he ignored his phone, and he made that choice because he's lazy and there's never any consequences. And he's done it numerous times at this point. Laura was able to see my point now that I was calmer, at least that's what she told me, but I've started to think about it. Was I the bad apple for saying what I said, or was I justified for calling out his disrespectful and lazy behavior? Oh, I'm going good apple for sure on this one, and there's a few reasons. For starters, there's already been a scenario where this has happened and people didn't lay into him and weren't brutally honest with him and giving him tough love about it, and it didn't change the behavior. I'm gonna be honest. I'm someone, I'll put my phone down, in 10 seconds later, I'm like, oh my God, where's my phone? I don't know where it is. And it's on silent, so it can be hard to hear. I get it. I'm that way all the time. But if I know someone is expecting me to go help them with something, I make sure it's next to me. I have my watch that will do the little find my phone ping, and I'll find it. If I know that I'm supposed to be helping someone with something, I need it glued to my side, and I need to make sure that it's on and that I can hear and be ready for someone who is going to call me when they're outside. That's responsible. That's what responsibility is. That's being an adult. But here's what tells me that it's completely on purpose, okay? Because I understand losing the phone. I do it all the time. What tells me that Randall is doing this completely on purpose is that when he knows they have the groceries because he hasn't had his phone, and he hears the knock on the door, and he knows who it is because if he didn't, he would open it and look, Randall just unlocked it. He didn't even open the door for them. If he didn't know who was at the door, why would he just unlock the door and let some stranger have the opportunity to come into his apartment? That's ridiculous. He knew who it was. He knew what was happening. He knew that they had the groceries. He didn't even open the door. That's on purpose. That is inconsiderate. That's lazy. That's not just oh no, I didn't hear. If that were me and I missed the calls and then I heard them knocking on the door, I would be like, I'm so sorry. Here, let me grab something. Is there anything else in the car? Can I help you? That's what an actual, remorseful response would be. Not the, oh, my bad, you can open the door. I know you have all the groceries. I know you have the food that I asked for, that you paid for. Blah, This whole, it just reeks of entitlement. You know what I mean? And I agree 100% with the boyfriend saying something. Because for starters, one, something has already been said to him in like a not tough love kind of way. But I don't think, like I genuinely do not believe that a younger brother would take the reality check from his sisters that are housing him and doing him all these favors. Like, he obviously feels entitled to the help. And sometimes young men need another man to say something like that to them. Like, sometimes they just do, which is unfortunate, and I hate that, but that's just the reality sometimes. And the fact that the other people there are his sisters, I don't think that he would take what they were saying seriously, personally. So I'm going good apple because I think Randall needs the tough love. And I think that he does need to start facing consequences, and he does need to start, like, I think if he's not gonna help with the groceries, okay, then you can get your own groceries. If you're not gonna help with your food that everyone else went to go get and pay for, then, like, I would have left it in the car, personally. I would have been like, okay, well, I'm gonna go back and put this in the car, and you, because I think he said that there were multiple trips. The food can be the last thing in the car, and Randall can be the one to go get it, and he can go get it with the rest of the groceries that are in the car. Like, this whole thing, it's so, he sounds so entitled to me. And also, he would have actually opened the door for the people carrying everything if he actually cared and wasn't just lazy and entitled, in my opinion, personally. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Okay, so I got 2 good apples, a bad apple, and a crab apple. Is that the curse? I mean, I guess it would be fitting for Halloween. I also freaking love this. Isn't this adorable? I found it on Amazon. I'll try to link it. So stinking cute. Like, I freaking love this. But anyways, those are the apples that I got. I would love to know in the comments if you got something similar or completely different. Definitely let me know. And as always, if you want a chance for your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/amithebadapple. And for your well wishes today, it looks like we got some good ones today. It is National Nut Day, so like pecans, cashews are my favorite. I do love like the flavored cashews. I found these chai flavored cashews. Oh, delicious. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna go order a couple bags. That's my day today. It is also National Tavern Pizza today. I do love me a good pizza. Maybe we'll order a pizza. And finally, it is National Recognizing Medical Assistant. What? Let me read this. Hold on. Medical Assistant Recognition Day. That's the day. So if you are a medical assistant, we thank you. We appreciate you. We would love to hear what you do down in the comments so we can recognize, appreciate all the things. And as always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.